Okay, welcome everybody to the Harding Park Governance Committee. Tuesday, the 9th of July, just a little after 1 p.m. Thanks to me, my apologies for my delay. So what I'll do is I'll ask for Henry to open for us.
Kia ingo I tātou, te atua te matua, te atua te tapiki, te waru tapu tātou te tō, e mana ki, e te aki arataki a tēnei wā ka tō, he amani.
Thanks, Henry. Well, I'll call the meeting open now, and the first item on the agenda is apologies. We've had no apologies, so I don't need a mover or a seconder, do I?
Correct, you don't need.
Rightio. Confirmation of the agenda is item 1.3.
Through the chair, just to point out that isn't on the agenda, but we are having public forum today. And so that will be item 2 and take place after conflict of interest.
Okay, so I'll have somebody can move the.
I can move.
Thank you, Councillor Nair, a seconder. Henry Hollyoake. All those in favour?
Aye.
Carried. Conflict of interest declaration is 1.4. So I will remind anybody if they've got any conflicts of interest, if they could declare them. And we have none there, so there's no need to carry that or confirm that. Item 2 is confirmation of minutes. That's the last minutes. Am I correct there?
Oh, sorry, item 2, we're actually going to move to public forum now.
Okay, rightio. So that'll be 2.A. So 2 will be open forum, public forum. And we have one presenter today.
Edie from Pipe Recycling. Oh, sorry.
The floor is yours, Edie.
Kia ora, my name's Sadie and I'm here representing Cope Recycling. Initially want to thank the committee. It's a pretty new set of faces from the initial committee that I spoke to. We were trying to remember how many years ago we applied to put mountain bike trails on the far side of Harding Park here. So really appreciate you supporting that application back then. The trails to the average person's eye, when you look across that paddock as you drive up the road, is pretty raw and pretty crude looking, but for the beginner and the experienced mountain biker, that's like a little theme park for us. It's an amazing little area. The trails have withstood some serious rain and weather events over the last few years. They need very little maintenance. We just keep the blackberry away and the kaikoi in, where a few of them skid after jumps and things, but very little maintenance. So it's been superb. It's again, it's sandstone based, a lot of it over there, so very easy to keep hard and keep maintained. Cope Recycling, we now have a bit of form. We're busy building a mountain bike park out at Babylon Coast Road. There's 140 hectares out there, and we've got 23 kilometres, all professionally built by a digger driver who's come in and who designs trails and builds them. He also built these here. So we've got some background and good experience now in building trails. With the growth of mountain bike trails comes the growth of riders, and Cope Recycling Incorporated, we're in a real healthy state. We've got a nice, strong committee, a couple of subcommittees, one working with Cody Coast Mountain Bike Park and obviously another one working here at Harding Park that we're pretty excited about. The Harding Park Committee are excited to take the park to the next level. We want to continue maintaining the trails, but we're talking about planting over there, and obviously we need to talk with the powers that be what goes in there, but we're keen to beautify the place. They're dreaming big, so we're looking at more trails. We have got some funding available to do that, and different trails. there's something a little bit different in there to add to what we've already got. We'd also like to be putting in an area to sit out of the sun or the rain. You've come all this way out here. To be able to, sit and watch your mates when you're tired or watch other riders as well. And good for parents, because a lot of the parents will sit in cars or sit at the bottom of the hill on the table at the bottom. But there's nothing up top here. So definitely keen to carry on doing what we're doing. We run like a coaching course for juniors and also do it for adults as well. And that's on a regular basis. We sort of go between the two parks now. We're pretty lucky. It's close to town. It's given young riders that independence that they can finish school and they come hooning through. I'm in the shop watching them zoom down the footpath heading out here. I know where they're heading, and often we'll come out here and find them out riding as well. So it's awesome to see our local juniors. So we are keen to create a little bit more of a, I guess, a competition area up here, and it's already ready to go. So we're keen to get the local businesses involved, have a bit of a competition after work over summer, and just start bringing more people to the area that they have bikes. A lot of people don't actually know there's a bike park up here. There's no signage in town saying it's up here. The level of riding has improved in town. We held the secondary school, the Northland Secondary School mountain bike champs at Cody Coast. And in the last few years, we've had competitors go from our area, but nobody make it to the top. But this year we've had senior girl, senior boy and junior boy all take out the top spots. And that's pretty exciting, because all of those kids, it gives me goosebumps thinking about this. All of those kids started here. The passion started here at Harding Park. We were here every Thursday night, and this is where it all started. So for me, that's awesome to see that happen. We hope that Harding Park will continue to back us, because we're pretty excited about taking that to the next level. We would like to beautify it. We'd love to put a barbecue area in up at the top there, more tables, a shelter. I see there's water stations around the walking areas here. Definitely need one over there. So all those sort of things we're keen to keep promoting and doing. So thanks for your support, and I hope you continue to keep supporting us doing what we're doing.
You're not going to get away with that easy. We've got plenty of time, so there's going to be plenty of questions, I think.
Oh,
No.
Through the chair, yeah, thanks for coming. It's exciting to see things happening in Harding Park. Just a couple of questions.
yes.
I was looking at MOU proposed and license. So you mentioned some gates to be on the top of the park. The proposed area on the top, you have put some gates, KDC, that's what it says here. So your neighbors, Machinery Club, they have no objections to you doing stuff to the bottom?
Around the back of there.
Well, it's the entrance to the, right? The area you're proposing, there's a car park there, and then you're installing some gates there, that area.
We'd only be working on the area that's our footprint.
Well, there is some mention of it, maybe I'm wrong. It says install top gates in position at the current site at the top of the park. It's an MAU. Anyway, if you don't know, if all is happy, it's a good thing to go for, yeah.
Yeah, anything that we want to do in there will be within the footprint of that we've been, that we work in at the moment. So we're not.
All my concern is because there is an understanding between you and KDC, and there are other licenses adjacent. There should not be any future issues. That's all I'm.
No, not at all.
Excellent.
There's a car park there, and we do already have squeeze gates.
Okay, thank you.
So just for clarity, this aerial photograph that we've got doesn't actually show the car park area, the little gravelled area.
Oh, right.
So that's where the confusion lies, but that's where people assemble,
Yep.
bring their cars up and unhook their bikes. Is that correct?
It's good to start on a down and up. It is, it's definitely better parking than down the bottom. I noticed on the way up today, somebody's parked right in front of the squeeze gate in there, so, yeah.
Through the chair, I have a second.
Yes, well,
Thank you. No, all I wanted to know, so you have taken responsibility to maintain that area which you are licensed to occupy? But you also, sorry,
Yes, maintain the trails and, yeah,
area which you licensed to occupy, you'll be maintaining whole or just the trails?
I thought the understanding was that we do the trails, we're not going to be like mowing,
So
don't have a big mower.
that's a big question, Mark.
But if we can fill the area with as many trails and plants, then we're not going to be mowing lawns.
Anyway, I'll leave it to staff to sort it out. Yeah. Thank you.
Robert,
Just through the chair, a bit of clarification, there's a memorandum of understanding, isn't there? And
But I'm looking,
obligated to maintain about a metre either side of the tracks. Yeah, so that's where that's your responsibility, basically.
Yeah.
And you've been comfortable that's been upheld pretty well by you guys?
Yeah, we're very happy to do that. And we have
Have been doing it?
been doing it, yeah.
Nice. Just, how many members in the club?
I believe there's about 90 members in the club. Sort of, yeah, it's kind of like a rolling membership. We don't have a set date, but it's definitely, yeah.
And you're incorporated,
We're an incorporated society and a charitable trust.
nice. So you've got, your offices and things like that and your minutes, every meetings and.
Yep, we've just held an AGM and,
Nice.
yep,
Yeah, brilliant.
committee,
Cool.
yep, treasurer, secretary.
And that's pretty, having local champions is pretty awesome. Yeah, yeah, congratulations, well done.
Thank you.
Henry, have you got anything? I've got a few things, and, just to carry on from what Robert said with local champions, it's all part of the health of the community when we start getting that through, because that is the cream of the cake. So there's a big pyramid of better well-being underneath it. Just for example, last weekend, I think Southern won their championship game of rugby, and for the first time ever, I think both Sharks teams are in the finals. So, there's been quite an elevation of physical achievement, and that's overall, and that's part of your philosophy, isn't it, with that?
It is totally, and I think what's really exciting to see is it's not just children being dropped off at the parks, it's mums and dads are in there riding with them and with us as a coaching group. So it's not just the kids championing their way up. We're getting more and more mums that are doing multi-sport events because they're riding their bikes with the kids on a regular basis. Just keeps feeding out and out and out. It's awesome.
So besides being in the centre of the urban area, but it was probably not, because you say that a lot of the young people are riding here, so that's their warm-up basically. So could you find a better location anywhere in the district than what we've got here?
Oh, this is amazing. It's just, there's not many towns that have a facility that the children can ride to. Probably the one that really sticks out is Rotorua, and they've got all the cycleways heading out to the bike park now. But it's a lot further out than what we are. This is 2 k's from the centre of town. It's amazing. And for the kids to be able to come after school, and we see some quite young ones coming through, crossing a little bit of a dangerous area to get here, but they're coming, they're just so excited about coming and riding. So it's.
And just to confirm, it complements the other park, doesn't compete with it?
Not at all. It's, doesn't compete with it. We're 2 totally separate things. You're having to rely on parents to take you out there if you're a younger person, where this is totally here. There's a nice graduation of trails here that are easy to hard. And then when you get out at the bike park, because the same person built these that built that, it's just a straight progression, but it's, if anybody's coming to stay to ride our bike park, then this is definitely a nice little thing to do in the morning before you head home or whatever as well. So it's great for outsiders, it's great for the locals.
So I've just got a couple more things. One is a memorandum of agreement, no, and it's got two highlighted sections here. Are you aware of that?
You want to read those highlighted sections?
Kite Recycling agrees to the following response. Is install top gates in position at the current style at the top of the park.
Been installed, yeah.
And then there's one for the Kaipara District Council, KBC to install supplied signage and Kite Recycling member to be present to ensure they are positioned at the right place.
Yes, I was there and they're there.
Okay, so those have been done with those tasks that were meant to be. So if, I've got to say the word if, but if we do approve this, you have got the funding and the means to put the other trails in?
Yes,
You've got the funding to do planting, or would that be ongoing?
that would be ongoing. And we've got the means to keep applying for funding, if that makes sense. So being a charitable trust, incorporated society, we're right there. We just need to keep nibbling away at the funding that's available. And I guess just making sure that we've got the okay to go ahead with these things.
And you've got the funding and the means to look after the metre each side?
Yes.
Do you have any more in to look after the rest of it, or is,
Do I have any more?
do we know how much the maintenance of the rest of the park is? Because I know you've spoken about how you want to reduce it by doing more planting, but there will be viewing areas that you want and.
Yeah, totally. Like there's a whole area down the bottom there with trees that probably need to go, and that's not our responsibility as a club to remove, wattle. What else is in there? There's a whole lot of tobacco trees and all sorts down at the bottom. So that's not for us to do. That's not in our understanding to do. But if we can keep building the trails and keep planting between them, it'd be beautiful, be gorgeous in there. And we do have that means. It will take time. Good things take time, but we just keep applying for the funding or tapping into. I know we've got one of the dads who's a dock worker. He said he might be able to help us out with some plants. There's, means and ways, I guess.
Do you consider the memorandum of agreement to be a moving document? Renegotiating changes and that on the way through, or?
Yeah, totally. I'm open to growth when we're not stuck in our ways. We do need a memorandum of understanding, as you're well aware, that some people thought we should be mowing lawns, but that wasn't part of our role. So it's nice to know that it's there and it's clear and where we're heading. So eventually, I hope there wouldn't have to be a tractor in there mowing and those sort of things.
But just for the understanding, I'm pretty sure our committee and that are aware of it, but it is a large commercial mower that is needed to keep that under control.
Yep.
Was that correct? It can't just be hand rotary mowers, can it?
There's still too much land in there, so keep encouraging us to put more trails and there'll be less to mow. Well, honestly, if we can cover them in trails and do some nice planting in between, we don't want to be completely out in the open, so let's get some planting, some trees growing around us. Create shade. Yeah, be less to mow.
I think I've interrogated you enough, Sandy.
But
Has anybody else got anything further that's been raised? No?
I might have just a clarification through the chair. So in MOU, a memorandum of understanding, Kaipara District Council agrees to following responsibility. There are quite a few to spray tracks as required.
yes,
So you will be coming back to them with thunder if it's not done. So you'll make sure that it's done, right? And there is provide seeing all those things on the park. There are quite a few commitments. I think the staff has to maybe work on what we can do and what is the best going forward.
Yeah, my apologies. We're just looking at the latest Google Maps, which has a car park in there for the interest of everyone.
Yeah.
Yeah, so the reason why, would it be fair to say the reason why we're responsible for the spraying is because it's quite a commercial operation, a lot of health and safety issues and everything else. And the spray vehicle that goes in there, do they walk or do they actually go on motorbike? Or
In them,
never seen them.
no, we're not seeing them.
Okay,
We've done a lot of chipping the blackberry and the kikuyu off our trail, weed eating, but we have actually been cutting it off. So I don't know who's in there spraying. We don't want blackberry. The bike shop does because there's lots of punctures. So as a cyclist, we don't want blackberry on there. So we are continually cutting it out. If the sprayer doesn't go through, we'll cut it because we don't want punctures. I'm not sure who's on spraying and how it's been done. I've not seen anybody. But it's obviously been. Sorry?
Who monitors all this?
Who monitors?
Oh, like you say that CMOU, you do this and you do that. Well, from, you as the leasing or the CMOU, I just want to know, like, who checks all the tracks like it's got here? Or do we just assume it gets done?
I'm pretty sure from there.
Just asking a question,
No, I don't know of any chain of command of who actually monitors it and who reports back to us. But I can probably reassure you now that Sadie will be letting me know if there's.
Well, it's like this. It's like
Yeah.
Sadie brought up about, trees that they believe they don't have to remove. Right?
Yeah.
And I want to know, like, in here, it says the spray tracks as required. Okay, that's cool. Get that. But then it's also got other stuff in here, but, it's like who monitors, like who looks after our interests as well as their interests.
Without
Like, we've got to have some,
answering anybody,
mate.
without answering anybody's question, but there could be a three-way committee here between the three of us. Could that be right?
Just through Chair, we've probably picked it up in item 3.
Yes, through the chair, this is just public forum, so if we could let
Yeah.
Sadie sit down and this is something that can be raised in the item. Yeah.
Thank you, Sadie. I'll let you.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you very much.
Thanks, Sadie.
Thank you, Sadie.
Right, we'll move on to
Confirmation of the minutes.
confirmation of the minutes, which was item 2. That's a previous minutes. Could I have a mover and a seconder, please? Thank you. A seconder? I'll do that. Is there any matters arising from the minutes? All those in favour? Right. Against? Carried? Moving on to item 3, the Kaipara Cycling Incorporated Licence to Occupy. And we have Jenny and Claire. It's bright light there, I can see it's so weird. Please, can we have a mover and seconder for,
Read the recommendation.
to read the
Through the chair, the recommendation is that the Harding Park Governance Committee recommends to Kaipara District Council the approval of Kaipara Cycling Inc.'s proposal for a licence to occupy for the mountain bike track.
Have we got a mover? I'll move it. We've got a seconder.
Through the chair. I asked, when do we deal with it?
Item.
So
Now.
through the chair, this is just to get the item onto the table for discussion, but we're not voting on it yet. But the questions can be asked after the presenters just give an introduction.
Second it.
Thank you, Henry.
Kia ora. We're trying to get out of the way of the lights.
Yes.
Been leaning a bit. And Joe and I are here to present today the Kaipara Cycling Licence to Occupy application or proposal. Just leave that. Righty-ho. Purpose of the report is to provide you with the information, and I heard what you were questioning, so we can talk about that once we've presented the report. And just to be clear that today is staff giving you information about the licence to occupy proposal, the application. If it was approved, it would be the governance committee approving for us, for Fleur and I to take it then to council for final approval. As Sadie beautifully presented and talked about, the Kaipara Cycling were awarded money from both Kaipara District Council and the Provincial Growth Fund to build the initial tracks. And at that time, a memorandum of understanding was put together with KDC and Kaipara Cycling, under the understanding that we would take it to you for approval to have a licence to occupy. That process has been somewhat delayed through Cyclone Gabriel and the ramifications of that. So we're here today requesting that. And also in the meantime, they've also been granted another $20,000 through the Reserve Contribution Fund to extend their tracks to the second stage area that we've pointed out. That was on the proviso that the whole area, if they had both or even just one of the areas, would be put into a licence to occupy. We have also been working with the parks. So Jessie's here now and could take some questions. So our parks team around how parks team would maintain the area. So Kaipara Cycling are being quite clear that they want the tracks and a 1 metre curtilage. And so we have been up here with Jessie Wordley from the parks team and our external contractors and looked at what that would mean for maintaining the rest of the park around those tracks and the trees. So hope that semi-answers some of your questions. Happy to take any further questions you may have.
Through the chair, you referred to an understanding that between the committee and the cycling club that we would advance to a licence to occupy. I can't remember that. I was sitting on the committee at the time and I can't remember that understanding. Is there any, is it minuted or?
Through the chair, I'm not sure that it came to the committee. It's an understanding that between the operational side of KDC that we were, MOU was here, or memorandum agreement it was, and that we would work with them to change it over to a licence to occupy. So I haven't actually been to the Harding Park meeting when it was first actually agreed to.
Okay, so that understanding never came through this committee at all.
Right, okay.
Oh, okay, cool.
Okay.
We have been up, Kaipara Cycling and ourselves have been working together under that understanding that that would take place.
But that understanding, it refers to that as that understanding was there right from the beginning, before the existing park trails were built. Is that correct or not?
No, it was when the existing trails were built,
When they were built in about 2020.
2020, yes, yeah.
Okay. So why wasn't that understanding ever voiced in any of the committee meetings?
Not as sure. It came to our awareness when Kaipara Cycling applied to reserve contribution again, and the committee, the Awards and Grants Committee, brought it to the attention and said this needs to be formalised.
Right. Okay.
Just on that, if we could ask for some clarity, anybody who's applying for funding on a site like this, one of the first ingredients is a licence to occupy, is that correct? The funder wants that to see that.
Yes, it should. Yes, it should be. It seems to have been a little bit of an oversight in this particular build. So we really, Fleur and I have been trying to work with Kaipara Cycling to tidy it up so there's some surety both for you as a committee and for them as the occupier, that they know what they are able to do, what's our responsibilities, and keep it tighter like a standard licence to occupy would be.
So just through the chair, oh, sorry, can I, yeah, doesn't a memorandum of understanding, does that not fix that issue?
As opposed to a license to occupy. You talk, I'm not sure you've got a copy of the LTO in front of you there. So there, oh, you haven't. Oh, we can send you one. They're a lot more comprehensive than what an MOU is. The MOU, I think, is probably maybe like a single page in here. Yeah, so you'll find that a license to occupy is a lot more robust when it comes to our community groups. And that's why we encourage them to move over to them.
But just as an administrative thing, I'm wondering if we should put this on the next meeting's agenda and it be supplied to us for us to bring it up as a topic for next meeting.
Yeah.
Yes, you've got questions you could ask it if you don't know yet. Could
Understanding is MOUs at governing level, the LTOs through the operation level with you guys, the Sadie, LTO.
Yes, yeah.
So, and well, I mean, we're getting there, but the LTO should have been presented with that MOU the same day as what we're reading today. So what we're passing, moving, we should have had all that information today.
Yep.
Hey, do you agree?
Yep.
Yeah.
We actually did.
I want to retract what I said.
what about moving?
Yeah, because really we should be getting that information, not being difficult, but you know, because they go side by side, MOU, LTO. And we should know that information.
Yeah, I think it's appropriate as a chair that I make sure this is within the next few weeks that we get that. And we bring it up at next month's, meeting's agenda, I'll put it on there to address.
So through the chair, we did have a report due, I think, going to council at the end of this month on this topic. So I guess we'd be moving that out to August, I would imagine.
Yeah,
Through the chair, the next meeting isn't until November, but you can have an extraordinary meeting.
I think-
You can pass
I think
a
we should-
resolution today to do that.
I think people online, extraordinary meeting.
yes, I'll wait till Jenny and first stand down and then we'll raise that. However, I want Henry to ask a question of the presenter to Fred and Jenny, please, about the twins.
I think you through the chair, you partially answered it earlier. But it was like all the in that MOU, it's, you know, it's got stuff that Sadie's, the cycling club has, you know, to adhere to. It's like I'm asking a question from governing body to operation. Well, who's monitoring that? And it's like Sadie asked or said that, you know, there's trees that they're not responsible for. Well, on the footprint of that land or whenua that you guys are occupying, have we determined like who's responsible for, you know, like you got partial stuff in here and we all understand a little bit of it, but it's like, well, who's checking who? You know, like,
So that would be the responsibility of the Parks and Reserves team.
oh, so we could get a report or whatever.
Yes, so the MOU, usually the licensed occupiers are managed by the property team, but the MOU is slightly different, so Parks has sort of taken that on. We have sprayed a couple of times through those tracks and we've done a lot of that maintenance work through there. There probably was a bit of disconnect between council and the Kaipara Cycling, but we've met a couple of times since then, so we're sort of working on that. So ultimately, yeah, it's probably the parks officer. If it moves to an LTO, it'll become the property team's management.
Yeah, that's good. I'm just making sure our communications are all working.
Yeah, we have
Otherwise-
done a lot of maintenance down the bottom there. There's still more to go, but we are working on it. Tree removal, we sort of just focus on dangerous tree removal at the moment, just because of the costs of. But yeah, once we sort of have maybe a plan and design, we can work on the amenity planting and work on that sort of thing.
Thank you for that.
So
Through the chair.
I think that's going to move into item 4, which is operations update.
I have a question.
Yes.
Thank you, Chair. Just it'll be good when you bring the information to the next meeting to know how it has been operating so far based on LTO, whatever you have, because it's an operation which is going on, right? Now we are formalizing in a memorandum of understanding. So I think that's the opportunity for us to learn from the experience, whether it's health and safety, because if you have some arrangement as KDC, you are responsible for all those hazards which happen, and so KDC can be sued as well. So all those things, if you can bring, so we can decide something positive going forward without any questions. Yeah, thank you.
Sorry.
I was just going to say through the chair, just on the health and safety part of it, we do have a very proactive health and safety team who do work hard with particularly our people that lease in our places and stuff. And that relationship has strengthened a lot over probably the last 18 months or so. They also keep an eye on us as well with what we do as well out in our areas as well. So I guess there's another group that doesn't get a mention a lot, but they are proactive in those spaces as well.
Yeah. No, the reason I said it, because there have been instances which have been reported. I think the Machinery Club had some incident which was reported to the full concept in terms of incidents. So I think we have to be conscious of the future risks and responsibility, and they are all taken care of in MOU or whichever you do. Yeah, thank you.
We're talking about an extraordinary meeting, 2 weeks, 3 weeks, 2 weeks? Yep, that's the 23rd of Tuesday, 1 o'clock here. Is that fine?
Sorry, through the chair. You wanting it to be held in person or online?
What do you think?
I don't know.
That situation for me personally,
You like it here? Yep.
I don't
you've
mind,
got
yeah,
the furthest way to travel.
I'm all good with coming in.
And through the chair, does that allow enough time?
Yeah, so what I'm hearing is it's the basic report that we've actually presented today, and you want a copy of the license to occupy. And if we just extend a little more on how the maintenance has been addressed through, you'd like that in writing, kind of, and health and safety?
Through the chair, that'll be handy.
Yeah.
If that, well, just a suggestion, that LTO could be emailed out
Yes.
to us.
We could,
If we can, and if we have any issues, we can comment back through the chair.
I expect it, yeah, I expect it to come out a week before the meeting. So that leaves them a week. I'm just worried about that. Is that enough for you?
Yeah.
No.
Sorry?
Sorry, through the chair, is extraordinary meeting still required?
Yes,
Yes.
yes.
Okay.
through the chair too, what happens with an LTO, so rather than the MOU that you've got now, is so that you'll see in an LTO, there's a Schedule 1, which is the, brings forward any information or any responsibilities that are pertinent to the applicant, to the organisation that's taking on the LTO. So we work with them around who's responsible for what. Back section 2 of Schedule 2 is our standard clauses. So they stay there, but if there's any changes or anything that we need to amend or that you as a committee might like to amend, we bring it into Schedule 1. And so it's black and white there up front. This is the responsibility. So yeah, when you have a look at the document, it's yeah, you'll see it, what I mean.
Do you feel it'd be appropriate for all parties involved to be notified, Sadie, as well?
So
Be on the email list? Is
Anyway.
that all right with you?
yeah,
That's fine.
Okay.
Hopefully.
I was just going to say through the chair, just to be clear, so for the LTO, you want to see it fully completed. So the conditions for Kaipara cycling, that like not just a draft, like not just the template, you want to see a full version of what it would look like. Yeah, okay.
Please.
There's one of,
Do you want an extra week?
Yeah,
Nice.
yes, that's what 30th July is probably more appropriate, but 30th is Tuesday again.
I'm just trying to strike while iron's hot because I know delays cause a further delay in the financial year and we want to get things going.
And an extra week, yes.
Chair,
30th July is,
when were you intending to take this to council?
At the end of this month.
Okay.
So we were, so we can take that off the agenda, it's fine.
So if we move that to next month, does it cause an issue? Sadie? Yep. Just, if you want to come up, we'll explain.
Sorry.
Well, the committee would like to see a copy of the final license to occupy. And the earliest they could probably meet is a day before our council meeting. And we need to take this to council for approval. If we were to move the approval to end of August, does it, or should create a problem for you?
Just twitching to. We have got a designer and a builder lined up, so we just that date out to them as well. Been 2 years, so we're all good. Another month.
She hasn't really said a yes or no there, actually. Look, I'm aware of it and I realise that you're keen to go. That's the thing.
It's ridiculous.
I guess to all the other proposals that we want to get started, we have to apply for funding. That all takes time. Summer's coming along and we want to get this going while we're all passionate and keen and.
No.
My view is if we can have it on the 23rd and get it ready for the 31st, let's do it, but I don't want to muck it up.
The chair.
Yes. We're just juggling a few things here, people, so we'll take a little bit of liberty here.
Does it?
If you have it on the 23rd, it would, need to be ready to be released on Thursday, the 25th of July.
How good is it?
For you?
23rd. Through the chair, most of it's ready. What would, because we've kind of preempt a report to go to council anyway, so it would be more making sure that the licence to occupy was in a place that Sadie and the team were happy with. That we could, those conditions and things like that. So that would be the work. The rest of it's kind of already sitting there waiting to go.
Yeah, if you say it's going to work, let's make it work then. And if we can get it out to us by the 16th, that's a week beforehand, and then we bring it to our meeting here on the 23rd and ready to present to council on the 31st. How does that sound, people?
Yeah.
Yep.
Sounds good.
Is that all right with you, Alana? You're the one who's creating the magic.
Okay, what I propose you should do now is both you moved and you seconded. So you can agree to changes in your recommendation now. And the recommendation that I've got is recommends that Kaipara Cycling proposal for a licence mountain bike track be brought to a meeting to be held on Tuesday, the 23rd of July. That agrees. And say agrees.
Yes.
Is that?
Yes.
Yep. Are you happy with that recommendation? Yep.
Do we want to do that in person or online to facilitate other members?
Oh,
So through the chair,
personally, I'm happy to come here.
the meeting can be done in person here, but also held online. So members are allowed to attend online.
I have problems down that end. That's why I have to come in.
So, sorry, if you read, you have just mentioned that we are the 3rd of July.
Extraordinary meeting.
So it's an extraordinary meeting.
You mentioned that we are seeking some information.
Well, it's agrees that Kaipara Cycling Inc.'s proposal for a licence to occupy. I can add that the licence to occupy draft LTO would be brought to that meeting. Agrees it.
That'll be good, yeah. That, through the chair, through on the 23rd, once we see it and we're all agreeable to it, it's a done deal.
Okay, so I've just added including the draft LTO, licence to occupy document.
1 o'clock?
Chair, is there a time that you want me to put?
We'll stick to 1 PM. We can do time now.
So agrees that the Kite Press Cycling Inc.'s proposal for a licence to occupy for the mountain bike track item, including the draft LTO document, be brought to an extraordinary meeting to be held on Tuesday, the 23rd of July at 1 PM.
Right, I'm on the mover, am I?
Correct.
And Henry, you still happy to be seconder? Right, those in favour?
Aye.
Aye. Those against? Carried. Thank you very much, Lana. Right. Item 4. Could I have it's the operations update. Can I have a mover and a seconder, please? Ash, no, there's a mover and second, Rob, seconder.
Hello, everyone. My operations report is attached. We've been doing a lot of maintenance throughout the park over the last 3 months. Hopefully you can notice the difference. We've completed a couple of capital works jobs. And our year-to-date budget spend is tracking pretty good. We're close to spending all of the financial year budget for Harding Park. Yeah, I don't know if you want to go through each item or if there was just any questions.
Do you wish to do? Do you just wish to answer questions that the committee bring?
Yep, I can take questions.
Yep, we'll go down that track. Just give us a few seconds there. I think some of us are still loading on dates in their diaries.
Get an invite for the meeting, right?
Yep.
I-
Right. Yes.
Thank you. Or just the first one, ordered works. What was the reason that Terai Nurseries draft agreement received and not proceeded?
It mainly comes down to the cost of the agreement,
Sorry?
the cost.
And it's cheaper to go with the maintenance contractor, obviously.
Yeah, so we're just going to keep it as one-off, as required spends instead of committing to a lump sum.
Okay, thank you.
I've got one question and I don't know whether it's, it relates to my biggest annoyance out is the edge trimmer on the side of the tractor and the mess it leaves on the side of the road. It looks disgusting. Is there any way that we can address that by looking at the contract and seeing, as we just come up around by where the car park that we were just talking about that has been created for the cycle trail, there's a 10-year-old, 15-year-old Totra there, and the mulches have just packed it, and it looks a mess. That's one of the things you see as you drive up. Is there any way that we can? It's not healthy for the tree for a start. That's unprofessional. Is there any way that we can address that issue or redress that with the contractors?
So not using those tractor arm mowing or alternative?
Yeah, but otherwise, as I said, making good the wounds to the tree. I'm not going down the lines that, they're a living, breathing creature, but
Yeah,
but it looks unsightly and it's unhealthy for the trees.
I think with those tractor mowing arms, I don't think there's any better finish than what they do. It would have to probably be an alternative maintenance. Yeah,
Can we add something in there to clean up those scars on the trees or?
just go over them with a chainsaw or
Yeah,
trim them off.
yeah.
I can look into that.
How does the rest of the committee feel about that? No? Yes.
Yep. I think a chainsaw, tidy up with a chainsaw, the bigger limbs instead of having them more fractured, like would make sense to me.
But would you like them to go through the whole roadway and just trim those larger limbs? afterwards.
basically.
Yeah, just the bigger trees. The small branches, they repair themselves with new growth very quickly. But the larger limbs don't, they stay there as a,
Broken.
it just really doesn't look as a, you know, we're spending all this other money and time and everything else on the park and we've got these. I know it's aesthetics, but it's also about the health of the trees too.
Yep.
Now, the other question I've got to ask is how are we going with the wattle removal? It's always the same subject.
Can you see any wattle out there? It's getting there. We have done a lot in Old Mount Wesley, that lower bank.
Yeah.
A lot's gone down there, especially the larger trees. We've done all around the park site and we've done a larger wattle out the back of the mountain bike area. But we're definitely getting there. We need to do more. So I'll probably book in another round. And we're also getting regen as well, so we have to try and tackle those.
Has it surprised you somewhat of the volume of it?
I don't think so.
Okay.
It was so many.
Not a-
Yeah.
Through the chair. Let's just take one question. I mean, this is one place which is visited by us all and the tourists and all. And I've been to many places now and, you know, cleaned around it. So as you drive up, right, you see a good part and then you see the ugly part. Why the whole thing, when people are going around the park, see a cohesiveness in terms of mowing. Like even you go to the cemetery, I have photos of it. The front is where Joseph Dargall and his wife grave is fine, but backside is untouched. And you can't even see. And the people who want to see their buried ones can't even get there. So can you tell them to do a job which is total rather than just the frontal? That'll be awesome.
Just the cemetery or you?
Well, generally speaking, I'm saying cemetery I saw and the sides I saw, even when I drove today, the right side was poorly done. It's good, yeah.
Okay.
Thank you.
I'll follow that up.
Otherwise, no complaints.
Thanks. Rob?
Just a reminder, Jesse, what was the story what was the story with the lock on the gate?
We were just going to wait and see. So it's not being locked, it's only been closed. We were just going to wait and see how that works, if it's sufficient.
It's been going okay?
I haven't received any issues since our last meeting anyway.
I suppose during the summer will be the to tell really, won't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. Yeah.
Yeah, I haven't heard anything other than what the museum raised last time. I haven't had any other complaints come through.
Okay.
Yeah, Jesse, I was driving up the track, up the drive. On the left as you come up, is that dam?
Yeah,
What is that?
the stormwater pond.
Oh, I just wanted to ask, like, it's got there,
No swimming.
at your own risk, and I'm thinking, well, no one will be doing it like in winter time, but in summertime, has anyone ever seen anyone swimming in it? Just a question, because I'm trying to eliminate a problem.
It was just a health and safety risk. That's why we put the signage up.
Yeah, no, good point, but it's not really much, because I mean, I'm just thinking about if anyone decides to jump in it, how deep is it? And is it enough to drown someone drown in it? Just asking a question.
Can drown at 2 inches.
Yeah. Just by looks, it looks about a metre deep. Yeah.
Yeah,
It's not a threat, I'm just saying.
yeah, I think it serves three purposes. It's hydration, it's also a water reservoir if there's a fire issue here, and it's stormwater in it, all three. Definitely not for swimming. Maybe for throwing cyclists in when they.
I was just thinking, because there's a cyclist come down in the summertime, that it'd be a good swimming pool.
The chair,
Use the knee off the bank.
just one last, actually, one of the volunteers in the museum brought it up this morning. 3 days ago, there were two ladies parked here, just here, And they went for a walk and the car was broken into at 9 a.m. this in the morning. So I don't know whether you're aware of it. So I don't know, I don't mean that crime has come to Dargaville, but maybe that's one area we have to watch. It was on CCTV and the photo was taken. So I'm just thinking, I mean, as a committee, at some point, we should look at what we can do, if not today. A lot of people come here and if the cars are broken in daylight into, it won't be a safe or reputational damage for the town as well, isn't it?
So just to clarify that, there was CCTV coverage of it.
Yeah, there was, through your chair, and that's been forwarded to the police investigation.
So I'm wondering whether we should put up some deterrent signs that say this monitored by,
We don't have security.
One on the main gate, there's one down there.
oh, there is a yeah, I'm just wondering if we add another one up here.
Security? I do.
Those are the museum's cameras though, not council's.
Yeah, we didn't, not in that sign, we're not saying whose they are. But, yeah, okay, well, I hope there's some luck there now. Yeah, that's distressing to hear that, that it's happening in broad daylight. So it's obviously an opportunist done it, but we must. One further thing, with the change of contracts and everything else, I believe Downer had the contract for maintaining this park. They've still got that. And still, there's no change, because their whole contract's been expanded somewhat in the district. But you've not had any indication of change of staff here. We've still got the same crew that are,
With the Downer crew?
yes,
There has been change of staff, yep. They have taken on additional staff as well. So that sort of picked up our maintenance at the cemetery especially, because that's one of the areas they were failing in. So they still need to do more work down there, obviously, but they have taken on additional staff for the entire contract though, yeah.
I hope that's a positive and they don't get dragged away doing other stuff. And so we just need to keep them on that. But no further questions for Jesse? No? You're free to go.
Thank you.
Kate. We'll bring up the wattles again next time. Councillor, you were the mover. Do you have anything to say and any statement?
No, it's, all I can say is it looks like there's an improvement in maintenance, rather than before we were complaining about for many meetings. So that's good. And hopefully with the new contract, it'll go better. Thank you.
Mr. Harding, you were the seconder.
Yep, good.
Anybody else wish to say anything? Henry?
But in regards to,
You don't have to if you don't want to.
I just got to declare a conflict on one of those activities
On the maintenance?
on Te Aroa Nurseries.
Okay.
What judgment is?
Sorry, what was,
Sit on the RGL
Aaron.
initial arm for the settlement trust.
Yep.
That's in our part of our assets.
Yep, that's fine. So when somebody does declare a conflict, they don't actually have to disclose what it's about. It may not be a financial one, it could be a governance means, or it could be one that they believe that there is a conflict. So thank you very much for that, Henry, and we appreciate that. Right, nobody's got anything else to say? The movers, right to reply?
Nothing.
Nothing? Right, all those in favour say aye.
I,
Against? Carried? And we're at that's it.
Yep.
So I'll call the meeting closed and I'll ask Henry to say something for us.
Ka ingoe tātou. Kia tau kia tātou katoa e ata whai tō tātou riki i he karaiti hoki. Te aroheti atua me te whiwhinga taitanga ki te wairua tapu e ake amani.
come in.
Thank you very much, everybody.
Thank you. Ani?